So it's been a while, huh?
Oh, I'm a little aggravated because my printer wouldn't work too well.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
I was gonna count down.
Yeah, 3 fingers.
I was gonna count down, and then you're like, "Oh no."
How was your 2 weeks?
My 2 weeks. Pretty good.
I was depressed until I took a look at Bitcoin.
Oof. This is you. You're like.
I have a special guest here, by the way. This is my Elon Musk that I've had for years.
Is this the show now? We're starting season 2 off with this.
Thank you, Elon, for this week's gains.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Tesla Chick Call Girls Investment Club podcast.
Okay, Elon's bothering me, so he's leaving now.
Okay, we're just gonna leave that shot in, and then you take him off.
That's from when I used to sell those. I have hundreds of those in a locker somewhere.
Okay, so we don't have a printed out script this episode.
Well, I printed most of it, but I wanted to read you this. Elon did this. Did you hear about this? Elon's tweet about Dogecoin?
What was Elon's tweet?
Tesla CEO Elon Musk sent the cryptocurrency world into a tizzy this weekend with a series of tweets about Bitcoin and lesser-known currency Dogecoin.
I know about Dogecoin.
Really? Well, I heard there's a porn star that said something about Dogecoin, right?
If Dogecoin is a currency that has nowhere to go but up, but also
because it's worthless.
Because it's literally worth nothing.
It's just it's like a rumor based on a joke.
It's literally a meme that someone made for just a meme.
So there was this conversation between Elon Musk and this guy named Michael Saylor, who's actually a big executive. He said, "Hey, if you want to do your shareholders a $100 billion favor, convert Tesla's balance sheet from US dollars to BTC, Bitcoin. Other firms on the S&P will follow your lead, and in time it will grow to become a $1 trillion favor." So basically he's saying, hey, whatever you do, everyone's going to copy you. And if you put your money in Bitcoin, then everyone's going to copy him.
But if he does it in Dogecoin, then all of a sudden Dogecoin's value goes to... So, if Dogecoin gets up to $1, and then anyone invested in Dogecoin will be like a millionaire.
Yeah, because it's like worth a penny, right?
Yeah, it's worth like a tiny fraction of a penny.
Can you see the value of Dogecoin on your app?
I'm looking this up now.
Yeah, I want to know if it went up. So then Elon Musk was joking with the guy. He's like, oh, I don't know if I could buy that much Bitcoin, which is BS, because of course he could. Then he tweeted one word, Doge. And then he changed his profile to this. Look, Elon Musk, former CEO of Dogecoin.
Oh my God, it's at 1 cent.
Oh, I thought you were going to say $1.
It's at 1 cent.
Wait, what was it?
It wasn't always it wasn't 1 cent.
It looks like a huge
taking
off graph.
It went from 0.003 to 0.01. It's so that was 200%.
In what time frame? What time frame was it up 200%?
Okay, it's up 135% the past week.
Just because Elon Musk's joking about it, but. Okay, I have mixed feelings about Bitcoin because there's something called quantum computing, which is like super computing, and they could easily hack and destroy Bitcoin. Don't you think?
I don't know. I don't know if Bitcoin is really hackable. I'm not
now
sure.
That you mention it, I keep forgetting it's not set up the standard way. Well, people are saying that's a major threat to Bitcoin.
Maybe. I don't know. A lot of it's like sort of like where the only way you'd ever be able to tell like how the security works is if you have actual experts in the field like working on it.
I did study it a couple years ago, and it's so convoluted the way people get in and out of it.
Yeah, well,
nobody owns it. It's not centralized.
Internet security is convoluted.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good actually when I think about the way it's structured. So the reason I'm into Bitcoin is because with all the Fed actions and all the, COVID relief and everything, it's quote unquote printing money. So it makes the dollar worth less and everything you own relative to the dollar worth more. So anybody with hard assets, we talked about this last week, is going to benefit. And anyone with a savings account, which is dollars, is going to be screwed.
Right.
Okay. So I'm looking at precious metals. I'm looking at Bitcoin relative to the dollar, right? And I have found my new Tesla for the year, my new idea for the year, which is this Riot, RIOT. I have not done any research on them this year, but they're kind of like a stock that it resembles Bitcoin. They supposedly, they used to be a myth. They said they were buying a bunch of machines and going to manufacture Bitcoin. I don't even know if they're legit or not yet. They supposedly own a bunch of Bitcoin. They supposedly farm a bunch of Bitcoin and control a bunch of machines that make Bitcoin.
Right.
I really should look into it more. But I did look at how their stock chart moves in comparison to Bitcoin. That was one of the things I was going to print, is the pattern I saw of Bitcoin and the pattern I saw of Riot. It's almost like whatever Bitcoin did, Riot would copy it later, which is great. Because Bitcoin's going up. Riot will go up in a minute,
Right.
I was just like shocked how there's like this delayed reaction. It was, now that I talked about it, it probably will spread and be disappearing tomorrow, but it doesn't matter, because if you want to trade Bitcoin, you can make like, a few percent. Oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just going to ask if you had options in Riot already.
Yes.
I'm excited for that. That sounds...
Yeah, because I woke up and what is it now? 3,200. Oh, it's 32,707. When I bought them, it was like, I keep buying them and then trade. Okay, so I made a mistake last week.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear my terrible mistake I made?
What's
I got so excited. Well, I thought about it. I reasoned it out. I thought, okay, when Bitcoin breaks through this level, it's going to take off, right? So I saw it sort of breaking through a level. I can't remember what the level was. I think it was the 2,900 or the 30,000. I don't know. It couldn't have been 30,000. I think it was hovering, and it was like 27. And I thought, okay, it's low. I'm excited. I want to buy Riot now. So I go on Robinhood, and I see this, and actually it wasn't exactly this page, but I see this list of calls, and they're all like $1 or something, and I'm like, whoa, those are cheap. I can't believe it. I got to hurry up and buy it, right? So I click the button. I usually buy lots of 100 on this particular stock because it works out to about 10 grand. So I buy 100 or 200 or whatever, right?
Right.
So I click on it. I buy 100. I'm like, why is it only $1,000? So I'm looking carefully, and I suddenly realize I accidentally bought December 31st calls. This was last week. December 31st was last Thursday. So it was 2 or 3 days in the future. And then Bitcoin took off on that day. So I'm sitting there looking at my options. I went ahead and I thought, well, okay, I'll make it an even 10,000. So I bought like a whole bunch more. So I'm looking at it, and the price is ticking up. Every cent it goes up, I was making $100, and it was like tick, 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 tick. And I was just watching the number go. I tried to make a screenshot video of it because it was really fun. It was really fun watching it tick up. And the mistake I made is I bought some really short-term options, and I didn't mean to, but it turned out in my direction. This is my option order. So they were $1.21. I just got so excited, I just grabbed it, So here's my December. This is at one moment in time. I whited out all the stuff that would show my account, but these December 31 options, they went up 200% in a day. This is typical of options. So think about Bitcoin went up maybe 0.5%. So you can buy some Bitcoin, or you can buy some Riot, or you can buy some Riot options. So Bitcoin probably went up like 0.5%. Riot probably went up. I think actually that day Riot went up 5 or 10%. It was like a lot. But the options, depending on how short term they are, I made 200% on that mistake.
That's pretty good.
And this is the other one I bought. Like after I realized my mistake, I bought this other one. This is a January 22 call. And it had already gone from $15.50 to $16 because I usually buy right around the strike price, right around the actual stock price. Mm-hmm. And that one on that one day made 70%. This is why I love options. So I just want to talk a little bit more about Bitcoin because this porn star had I guess had texted something about Dogecoin saying I'm a HODL of Dogecoin, and I've seen this word HODL, so I looked it up. So this is like hold, but it's reversed, HODL. So what it stands for is dang, glasses. Can you read it? HODL stands for, where's my glasses? Oh, here they are.
Hold on for dear life.
Yes, that's it.
There it is.
That's kind of representative of what people did with Tesla stock a long time ago. They just keep holding on. It would go way up and way down, and they just hold on. So this is what I printed when we were going to record last week, and I was super lazy because it was Christmas. And then I thought, well, if it's a half week of trading this week and a half week of trading the week of New Year's, I'll just say that's 1 week of trading, and I'll just sleep for a week.
Right.
So I printed this 29,199.90, and I was like, wow, that's really close to 30,000. I was actually going to try to sell my Riot when it hit 30,000 because I thought it would hit a barrier, like a ceiling. But the minute the market closed, it was 27 or something. And then after the market closed, it was 29. I'm like, oh, I missed it. And then I watched it a little bit that weekend, and it went way down. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll just hold it longer term, you know?
I just realized something. This is kind of off topic, but it's something I just realized. I think that I have a prediction that I want to make. I think Google is going to go down this month.
Why?
Because it's January.
And do you think all things go down in January or Google?
I think Google, because here's the thing, is I saw a meme about YouTubers in December and they're like super rich, and then YouTubers in January and they're like this guy from The Simpsons who's huddled in this super cheap house. And I realized that the reason for that is because all of the big ad companies are basically paying Google to put their ads out there in December, and then in January no one really wants to advertise anymore because the holidays are over.
Yeah, so I think that's true. So that would be reflected in their quarterly results in March.
Would it?
Yeah. But then people trading stocks would be looking 6 months ahead. So that's a question.
I'm just thinking there must be some sort of yearly flow to their stock if depending on how much ad revenue it makes up for their
there's this thing
income.
There's this thing called cyclical stocks, and I'm sorry, I don't know what it is exactly. I think that's the one where there's different kinds of stocks. Like one is one that seasonally rises and falls.
Right.
I think that's cyclical.
I mean, it makes sense if if ad revenue is a big part of your income, and I think that for Google that is the case. I mean, I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. Well, no, because Google also runs Android, right? And they make phones and stuff, but those are also kind of seasonal. Like you want a new phone in December or whatever. I think the majority of their revenue would have to be seasonal, right? Because advertisements are seasonal and technology in general is seasonal. Wouldn't you say?
That could be true. I think a lot of people are mad at Twitter, Facebook, and Google. Did you know Twitter got sued for $55 million?
Who sued him?
The Hunter Biden laptop scandal?
Yeah, I remember that.
So every time anybody tweeted about it, which was all day long every day, they slapped this thing on it saying this is false news. And what they used for the excuses, they said, this is against our policy. It's based on hacked information. But it wasn't hacked information, and the guy who turned over the laptop was not a hacker. He was an innocent computer repair shop guy who they never picked up the computer, and he never hacked it. He had permission to work on it, and it became his property, so it's not hacked. So he got death threats, and people I guess it's really bad if you're in the computer repair shop business to be called a hacker. It's really insulting and hateful, and people don't want to deal with you anymore, and no one wanted to take their stuff to him anymore. They didn't trust him to repair their computer because then they thought he would hack it,
Right.
So he lost his shop. They threatened him with death. He had to move. He filed it in Florida. which actually he might prevail because Florida's kind of a Republican state and they kind of hate Twitter for interfering in the election so much. So Twitter got sued for $55 million. I think this is one of the first of many. People are mad about the election and the way Twitter and Facebook controlled the information.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking about seasonal stuff and how technology is seasonal, and I think that technology stocks in general might have a cyclical nature to them.
So their income would probably be cyclical, but the stock traders are trying to look 6 months ahead. So 6 months ahead of now would be June, which is probably why the stock market's up so much, because everyone's assuming with the vaccinations we'll be returning to normal soon. You know, there's another thing called the January effect. I always used to sell my stocks on December 31st and try to stay out in January because I didn't want to pay the tax. There's this tax thing called I had a couple theories. One is everybody waits till January to sell because they want to move losses into the new year. But there's also this thing where if they make profits, they want to sell in December because... Okay, I'm going to have to edit that out because I lost my train. Or maybe I won't. Well, January supposedly goes up. But I think they're rebalancing from things that were big winners into things that were, they're trying to take some of their profits. That was the point they were saying. In December, they're taking their profits and then they're taking the money when they took their profits and reinvesting it in January. Does that make sense to you?
That makes some sense to me.
So Riot Blockchain, this is the 1 day's move.
It's up 28%.
Yeah, that was that 1 day. That's just 1 day.
That's pretty good.
But my options made 200%. Actually, they would have made more if it had closed at this point. It dropped down again. Yeah, 28%. Yeah, that was a good day to invest in it. I think it might have been the day that all these tweets were happening. I didn't know about the tweets. I just thought it would be a good investment. Oh, here's the little doji. Meme coin soars after adult star says she's a hodler. And I'm like, what is a hodler? It's something adult stars do, right? So then I thought about comparing it to other hard assets that would be good investments. And I thought, what about gold? What about gold?
What about gold, Mom?
Where did gold go? Well, I threw it out. I don't know where it is.
It's you threw out the gold?
I don't know where the gold is, but maybe it's under the sofa.
Maybe it's hidden in a secret compartment somewhere in our apartment.
But it doesn't matter because I printed out gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. And earlier in the year, I said, oh, wow, gold soared and silver hasn't yet. Silver always does this whipsaw thing where it catches up. Now, I would not buy physical gold ever again. You know why?
Because you have to find a buyer.
It's so hard. And then they take a big chunk of your investment. Like you can buy gold for $100 and sell it for $120 and lose money because they take like a big percentage when you go physically to the dealer. Mm-hmm. So then silver. Would you buy silver? No, because you need a truck to carry around a big investment of silver because it's very cheap. It's like $20 an ounce or whatever. Then there's platinum, which is... It used to be $1,600 when gold was like $400, and I made a lot of money on that like decades ago. But I was checking into it recently. Platinum's cheaper than gold.
Let's buy iron.
Well, there's palladium. Palladium is a precious metal like platinum, and everyone was talking about it last week and how it was really taken off, and also it's used in things like electric cars. So I looked into that, and just compared to Riot and Bitcoin and all. I mean, not Bitcoin, but Riot and options and everything, I'm just like looking at this 1%, 2% move, which they're saying is so huge, and thinking that's nothing for anymore. I'm not interested anymore.
Is every metal on the stock exchange?
Yeah, so like gold.
Can I buy tungsten on the stock exchange? Can I buy bismuth?
Let's look up tungsten. Let's look it up. I can't talk. Look, do you want to look up tungsten?
Okay, I'll look up tungsten.
I bet it's TUNG. Here, I'm going to look.
Doesn't seem to be on it does not seem to be on there.
What is Tungsten Corporation? PLC. This stock is worth $0. What the heck? It's worth, what is that, 0? It says $1. It's 38 cents.
Hey, that's more than Dogecoin.
Tungsten Corporation. There's a bunch of ads under it, no articles about it. I don't know what they do. Well, there was this other thing that I used to buy a lot. So if you want to buy gold, I don't know if you can buy tungsten. I don't even know if they trade tungsten in that Tungsten Corporation. What you looking at? What was that went way down?
That was Dogecoin. It went down today, but it went up like this week. So
Okay, so if you want to buy gold, GLD is basically a fund that one of these companies runs, and they hold the gold or they gamble on the gold, and you buy these shares, which are completely liquid. You can buy and sell them during the trading day.
right.
It's like an ETF. There's GLD for gold, there's SLV for silver, there's PPLD for platinum, and there's PALL for palladium, and there's a bunch of others. You could probably trade iron futures, but I don't know what that would be. And then if you want to trade all metals, you can do mining. And there's NUGT, spells nugget, sort of. And that's a gold miners fund, which has a bunch of different gold miners, and it's leveraged, so it's like 2 times whatever. And so it swings way up and down with gold. But it's sort of like they mine everything in these mines. They mine gold and they get silver too, you know? So I lost interest in that because Bitcoin seems like way more profitable at the moment. It's like the happening thing. It's like all the big funds on Wall Street are saying, yeah, we're buying into Bitcoin. More and more people are accepting it. Everyone's saying how the dollar is losing value because of all this money printing, and that's the safe asset to go to. People are starting to think that. And they're not there yet. If it was the most popular thing right now, it wouldn't be a good investment. It's only when people are still heading there that it goes up. Once everybody's there, it has nowhere to go but down. Oh, here's another trading idea. Here's some losers. There's this thing called a 180-day lockup period. Remember when we were talking about Nikola and how we thought it would go down because this guy's shares were locked up? Mm-hmm. And then when it expires, he can sell them. And then he said he wouldn't sell them. That was Nikola. By the way, Nikola was down in the $15 here somewhere. But there's all these different stocks that came out that were new IPOs, new releases. And then all the shares of all the original investors are locked up for a set period. So I looked up and it says a typical lockup period is 90 to 180 days. So there's different dates where certain companies, their lockup expires. And they were talking on CNBC about how Palantir, this was down 5% that day. There's something called Lemonaide. Do you know what Lemonaide is? Here's Nikola. Nikola, they're still going down. Look, they're down in the $15 range. I thought they'd only go down to 17, and I chickened out right there, and I got back out. What was that, 14? No, that's not where I chickened out. I chickened out way up here.
Ah.
They're still going down. Lemonade, this company, their lockup expired. Those are
the restaurant chain, right?
I'm wondering. There is that restaurant chain called Lemonade.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of theirs.
That's the day their lockup expired. Look, down 12.89%. That was just partway through the day. So that's something that we could make money on, is finding somebody whose lockup is going to expire and shorting it with buying a put. This is a brilliant idea I had. I started buying stuff and not really checking it out. So one of my followers said something about this QS, and I looked at this chart, and this is what I saw. I saw a pattern of 3 areas where it peaked a little, dipped, and then it went up higher. And I thought, oh, I bet that's going to repeat. So I bought some. It's I don't know if it's going to go up higher, but it definitely dipped. Definitely dipped, and I'm thinking, what was I thinking? I don't know. That one, I bought $10,000 worth of options in that one, and I just watched it go down and down, down, and I'm like, it's got to stop somewhere. So right now, my account says I'm down $10,189 in that option. I don't know what it's worth, but I thought I bought about $10,000 worth, so it's probably worth almost zero.
It's probably worth exactly zero since it's below the strike price.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
Isn't that how an option works?
Oh, you mean what it's worth if it were to expire, but it's worth something.
Okay.
It was below the strike price on day one.
Quick, buy more.
I don't know. I don't think so. I didn't even know what it was. And then I looked it up. It's some kind of electric vehicle thing, but that was the happening thing last week. And now I don't know if people are selling that thinking, okay, take our profits.
Well, it always dips and then goes up, right?
Well, that's what that pattern was I saw. So I'm like, okay, if it's worthless, there's no point in selling it. I may as well just sit on it.
I'm thinking you should have bought the dip rather than buy it before the dip.
I thought it was the beginning of the... I don't know what I thought. But it's a longer term option. As time passes, it'll become a shorter term option. And as time passes, it's worthless now. So if the price goes back up, I don't know.
Okay.
It's pointless to sell it. Then here's another idea I had, XL. So I'm sitting in bed, 5 a.m. I'm so tired. I'm listening to the commentators. It was actually 5:45. And Jim Cramer comes on and he says, yeah, this is the week when everybody's going nuts and they're all buying these big, these hot things, these Robinhood traders. And I'm thinking, well, I may as well go along with whatever the Robinhood hot thing is. And he says, today, will it be XL? And I know nothing about XL. And I thought, I looked at the stock chart and I'm like, oh, yeah, it's pre-market. It's up. But, I noticed the pattern on a lot of these stocks when they're up pre-market. They just go nuts, especially after the tone of his voice and the context of what he was saying. I thought, this is one of those that's going to climb all day, right?
Right.
So I tried to buy some. When it opened, I tried to buy some options in it. I tried to buy a $20 call, and it refused to fill. And I thought, what the hell's going on? What is this XL thing? So then I put in a price that was way over the asked price, and it refused to fill. And the price is going up. And I'm watching, I'm like, why won't they sell me any options? And then I thought, well, I'll just look at all these attempts. I made a bunch of attempts. So I'm looking at what is XL? Okay, it's the next electric vehicle, SPAC, which is a SPAC. This is like this is where they're selling shares in a fund that isn't even the company. We're going to invest in this.
Oh, no.
So, XL fleet skyrockets on day 2. Well, I didn't realize the reason I couldn't buy options, I think, is because even though they were on Robinhood and they were showing a bid and ask price, I think it was still in that first 3-day periods where you can't buy options. You know how you can't buy it?
Oh.
Oh, no, it was the second day. You can buy options on the second day, but I think no one had set up any options yet.
Oh.
They showed the prices, but they weren't selling them yet. I was just too early. So I'm sitting there watching. And I'm watching, it goes up 50%, then it goes up 80%, then it goes, I'm like watching. And I looked up, I was trying to get this XL call. Here, look. This is my open order. Limit buy $1.70 for this order for December. It was a January 15, $20 call. Okay? So at the end of the day, I wanted to see, here's another one. This one was a January 15, $20 call. I put a limit price of $2. So at the end of the day, I thought, what would I have made? It was $11.20. So whatever I would have bought, if I bought $10,000, it would have multiplied itself by 6 times.
Right, but you can't.
So 10,000 would have been 60,000 by the end of the day.
You can't.
I couldn't get them.
Selling.
Nobody. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand.
They don't exist.
So they might have existed, and maybe there just weren't enough of them yet, because these companies have to make them available. Somebody has to sell it.
I don't know.
But Robinhood showed that they were selling at these prices, that these were the bid and ask prices. So I don't know. I just watched it and I just was like, I could have made $60,000.
Okay.
It was painful to watch. But I did okay. See, this is me. I don't know what day this was. I printed this out for our last podcast. This is me. One day I made 21%.
That's pretty good.
1 week I made 24%. So I guess that was my big day of that week. And then for the past 3 months, I made 159%. That's on my entire portfolio amount.
That's pretty good.
So I did pretty good. And then the following week was this last week. I had bought a bunch of Riot and it did nothing and it lost value. And I bought that stupid QS and I lost the $10,000. And so I was a little disappointed this week. So I wasn't really motivated to record a podcast. And then I'm like, finally, okay, I'll do it Sunday.
And then you check Bitcoin.
And then I check Bitcoin. I'm like, yes!
Yeah.
Yes! Because that's where most of my money is in Riot. So I think it'll be okay.
I think it'll be okay too.
It's like nail, but people ask me, did you make any money this week? How much money did you make? Are you making a lot of? Will you coach me? And I'm like, I win some and I lose some. It's just the net that's counts. If you make money in the end, I just check the most popular. I'm just looking for ideas for the coming year.
Okay.
This is the most popular things trading on Robinhood: Apple, Tesla, GE, Ford, Microsoft. Why would anyone be trading? Why are they trading GE and Ford? Those are so boring.
I feel like those are just everyone's beginner stocks.
Huh. So Tesla, it's just kind of flat. I'm not really thrilled with its future.
I agree.
It went up 1.5%. It's at 705, but I mean, sure, they're going to take over the world, but the stock is at 1,000 price to earnings, and people who are chasers are going to chase other things, and people who are going to hold it, well, it's just going to stay up. I'm sure it's going to stay up. Remember my old favorite, TQQQ? I don't like it anymore. Look, it hardly does anything. Tesla's a big chunk of it. It doesn't move that much, not compared to 28%. This is less than 1% it went up that day. I thought maybe people are selling their high-tech stocks and getting more into standard Dow stocks for when the world reopens. But that too, I don't know. That's the 1 month chart. It's up, but it's not huge. So I'm not thrilled with the Dow because it's just kind of going the same way as the TQQQ. It's not. See, this is TQQQ for a month, and this is the Dow for a month. There's really not that much difference in the pattern of that. And actually, the Dow made 1.5%, and the TQQQ only made 0.78 that day. So, yeah, maybe UDOW would be a better investment, but I'm starting to think I'm just going to focus on Bitcoin, trying to trade Bitcoin through Riot. Oh, there's something else.
Oh, yeah, this is the critical thing, isn't it?
Pokemon cards. What do you mean the critical thing? Are Pokemon cards critical?
Yeah, Critical on YouTube recently did this thing where he was releasing a whole bunch of packs of rare Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic cards.
I don't know about that guy. I know that a couple weeks ago.
Well, I was just watching his video where he was doing an apology where apparently some of the piles got mixed up and so some of the packs weren't containing good enough cards. But apparently
that sounds fishy. That sounds fishy to me.
Really?
Uh-huh. Because, so many people would not object, right? They'd be like, oh, I got this from this famous guy.
Well, we'll see. I thought his response sounded pretty genuine to me.
Okay. Well, Pokemon card values are way up.
Are they really?
Yeah, that's why he's selling them.
I think that's part of why he's might be part of the reason why they're up.
Well, if you sell a bunch of oh, you mean because he's promoting it?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was thinking supply and demand. He'd be supplying more. But there's how many followers does he have?
Decent amount. Do
you recognize any of these cards from our pack? Because I still have them all in storage.
I don't know. I think I recognize maybe some. Maybe I don't.
Yeah,
think
look at
so.
these prices. Some of these $240, $144, $728 for this card.
Well, those are all holographic.
We have holographic cards.
Yeah.
They're in storage.
Mm-hmm.
We really should go to storage. We'll hit the gold mine.
Okay. Have we been keeping them in good condition, though?
They're just sitting there in a box inside another box inside a building inside a...
It's not the best condition.
Well, it's not winter here, like other parts of the country. It's
True.
Just L.A., although it might have heated up.
Yeah, that was what I was worried about.
Did you hear about Alibaba?
Yeah.
So Jack Ma, you heard about it?
No.
Michael, come back. So Jack Ma is the head of Alibaba, right? He's this brilliant entrepreneur in China.
Right.
And it's like Alibaba is China's version of Amazon. Got it?
Got it.
And he's been kind of critical of the Chinese government lately. So they just decided, because that's not America, they just decided, okay, we're going to call him in and talk to him. And they're basically going to institute all these restrictions against him, not let him. He was going to do like this money borrowing business. They're saying he can't do that, or they're putting restrictions on him.
Oh, God.
They called him in. They basically slapping his hand, but their Chinese Communist Party they can just put you out of business after a day if they want,
Yeah.
So they called him in right there. Can you tell? Can you tell which day they called him in? And honestly, I would not invest in China in general because the way we invest in China, we don't buy their stocks. We buy these ADRs, these versions of a stock that some company, like, I don't know, JP Morgan, whoever's doing it, sets up this ADR that's supposed to mimic their stock. But we don't know if they're telling the truth when they're doing accounting. We don't know anything.
Right.
And right now they're saying that President Xi Jinping...
Is that the Winnie the Pooh guy?
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's him.
Okay, cool.
So he's cracking down on all this stuff. He's like mad. They mishandled the coronavirus, and he's trying to distract people from that because he's tired of being criticized. So he's trying to get more people to rally around his flag and be more patriotic by blaming outsiders, blaming foreign governments like America, and putting people out of business like this poor lady. There was this lady who just recorded stuff in Wuhan on her cell phone and said, hey, this looks really bad. Look at this line by this hospital. Remember that? Remember the people in Wuhan who were sending out these videos? This lady got 4 years in prison for sending out videos, just being a citizen. I'm butchering all their names, I'm sure. But China jails citizen journalists for 4 years over Wuhan virus reporting. They said she's picking quarrels and provoking trouble. That's the charge. Can you imagine our country? Someone puts you in jail for 4 years for picking quarrels and provoking trouble. I think I'd be in jail right now. Her name is Zhang Zhan. She's 37 years old, and she's the first person to have been tried. But there's a handful of people who did these first-hand accounts, and she's saying, this is interesting. This is her mother's quote. This is fascinating to me. I don't understand. All she did was say a few true words, and for that she got 4 years. I mean, that makes sense that the mother would say that, but they're in China. And she says, Ms. Zhang believes she is being persecuted for exercising her freedom of speech, Ren said before the trial. Ren is her lawyer. I didn't think they had freedom of speech in China.
I don't know.
It's not, they don't consider it a right there, do they?
I don't know.
I
have not studied Chinese law, and neither have you.
Yeah, but years ago, it was a big deal that anyone would ever say anything. And they're actually...
Yeah, but that was years ago.
They're actually saying we have freedom of speech. I'm shocked because they've come a long way in China. I think we've influenced them a lot because it used to be... Remember the picture...
What is this diatribe you're on now?
No, I'm serious.
Oh, we sure have influenced those Chinese in a few years. They've introduced freedom. It's like you don't know anything about what you're talking about. You're just saying words.
No, I definitely do because the citizens in China idolize American products. They itemize American lifestyle. They think Apple phones are cool. How do you think they're selling so many Apple phones even though they have so many competing things in China? They idolize Tesla and Elon Musk. I don't mean idolize, but they consider America cool.
Right.
But the leadership is trying to say that's going to end now. Jack Ma, for instance, standing up to the government. He thought he could do that because he's a billionaire. And they're just like, no, we can put you in prison if we want.
God, I don't.
But the reason I'm saying times have changed, Michael, and the reason I know what I'm talking about, a couple decades ago, there was this kid who had enough of Chinese Communist Party, and when the tanks were coming to squash the protests, they were doing all these protests against the party, not allowing them to have free speech. This kid was just like, I'd rather die, and he just stood in front of the tank. That was that picture that was sent around the world.
Right.
That was where they used to be 20 years ago.
Right. Okay.
So that's what I mean by they've come a long way.
I didn't understand that we were talking in a 20-year time frame.
Well,
you didn't make that clear.
Oh, I did say a couple of years, but
you said the couple of years to me means 4 or 5.
Yeah, a couple of years to me means 20. I'm trying to be
a couple of just 2 years ago they didn't have freedom of speech, and now they
decades.
do. Good for them.
Well, when
a couple means 2.
When you get older, a couple
when you
means
have
20.
a couple of people who are getting married, are there 2 people getting married, or is it 40?
Okay. Anyway, I don't think it would be a good idea if you had money to invest it in China, because I feel like you could buy a business today that would be gone tomorrow, or they'll just change the rules.
Yeah,
and the
agree.
accounting is suspect too.
I agree. I think that Chinese government is full of shit.
Okay, what's coming this week? Politics?
No.
I'll just say factually what's coming this week. Wednesday
I'm out.
No, you got to come back. Wednesday is when the electors meet, not the electors, the Congress and Senate get together in one room and they meet to count the electoral votes. Then what's going to happen is several members of the House and Senate are going to object to the contested states, the ones that there's evidence of wrongdoing in the voting process, and that everyone says there's no evidence of wrongdoing in the voting process because half the country can't deal with it and doesn't want to see it. Nobody's ever seen it. Then they have to debate. Well, then all that evidence is going to be brought to the forefront. So hopefully that means everyone will see it.
Okay.
And we'll see, hopefully we'll get a real picture of what happened, because I think it's important to America to get a real picture of what really happened. But even if that doesn't happen...
I agree with that.
Even if it doesn't happen, they've suppressed it this long. They can probably suppress whatever happened. Nobody wants to see the evidence. They all say it doesn't exist. So there's that. And then the next step in the process is they split up. Let's split up. And the Senate and the House split up. And they each vote separately on whether they're going to accept the electors from those states. The Senate is mostly Republican. The House is mostly Democrat. I think I read that they both have to agree in order to throw out the vote. So if the House is mostly Democrat, they're probably going to say, no, we want to accept this vote. And then it's up to Mike Pence, the vice president, to make the decision about. And there's a big contest about, well, does he have the authority to make the decision? And everyone's arguing about that. But supposedly he makes the decision or the announcement about what they're going to do next. And either they're going to hold a vote where the Senate decides who the president is with one vote per each state, which means Republicans dominate that, or he's just going to cave and say, we'll accept this. So I see some fighting coming up in the future. If Trump was named president, do you think the stock market would take off?
I have no fucking idea.
I don't have a clue either.
I have no idea.
I think there will be
zero
chaos.
idea.
I feel like there could be chaos. Like so far, I feel like the stock market has ignored politics. Like things will happen and they just keep plowing up.
Okay.
But it's like they're in denial. It's like, oh, Biden won. He's going to spend lots of money. All our money will lose value. The stocks will gain value. Let's just pile in.
Who knows at this point? Who knows?
Let's look back in history. When Trump got elected, I couldn't believe it because all the media said he was way behind. But that was a lie, apparently. He won. Overnight, the stock market dropped 700 points like a rock. And I was like, why is the stock market dropping? He's a pro-business candidate. And I was miserable because I had made a bet and I was going to lose big time in the morning. So I wake up early in the morning. Stock market's way through the roof, high. It had gone down 700 points and then it took off like crazy. And I think the same might be true of whatever happens with this week's negotiations. But
okay,
honestly, there's another deadline that's January 14 when they're supposed to declare the winner or something. Mm-hmm. So they might debate it all the way from the 6th to the 14th. This might be just going on in the news for weeks. We have to have a new president by January 20.
Okay, let's figure this out. Let's figure out how to trade options on Robinhood.
Oh, we forgot to do that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to do this. I was going to show how to buy an option, which I could do easily. But you can figure it out once you have the ability to trade options. So we're going to go to Robinhood. I'm going to find my glasses. I did it, but I can't remember. That was like a month ago.
How to enable options on Robinhood.
That's what you need. But you're going to watch a video for that? That's so boring. He's going to talk forever.
Yeah, I know.
Can't you find it in writing?
I don't have... this is the only result that came up that I found. Don't be a choosing beggar.
Okay, so I'm searching.
I'll find a Reddit post.
No.
You would like me to get info from a Redditor instead?
No, I'm Googling Robinhood, how to get options trading. What do you think of that? Okay, I got a stupid video. I hate learning crap from videos. No, this is how to trade. Why can't I trade on options on... How do I enable options trading on Robinhood? Here it is. A video? No.
I'm going to contact Robinhood support.
No, it's here somewhere. I found it. Well, I'd like to log in on your account because I think if we dink around in there, we can find it. Do you think... Are you logged in? Oh, I remember.
What?
Okay, you have to log into Robinhood on the computer. You can't get it from logging in on the phone.
Okay, I'm logged in to Robinhood on the computer.
Okay. So, let me see if I can remember. Hey, you're rich. You got way more money than you started with.
I do, and I transferred some of that out.
Okay, you remember my theory that if you look at anything long enough, you can figure it out? Okay. I think I would... No. I think I would click on account.
Okay.
I'm leaning way over, so okay. What?
Yeah.
Where did you click on? No, I want to see the drop down under account.
Okay.
Settings. Get options trading. Yes. Continue. Do you provide investment advice as part of your job? No. Are you registered with a financial regulator? No, I don't even know what that is. How many years have you traded options? Michael, think about this question. Yeah, that's okay. 1 to 2 years, he said. Do you know how to enter an option spread? Okay, honestly, I don't, but I just said yes. Michael Becker, game designer, yeah.
Game developer.
It's true now.
It's true.
There you are.
This is true.
It's got all your background information. What is the total value of your cash and liquid assets? I mean, it's fine if you say this, I guess. Up to 25 or 20. I guess that's okay. I don't see how they can limit your options trading. Net worth. I guess that's okay. Yearly income. I guess they won't limit you just because you're broke. You don't have a lot. What is your overall investment objective?
I'd say growth.
Yes, that is correct. Because if you say...
Preserve my savings, growth, a source of income, speculation, trading, something else. I chose growth.
Okay, if you say preserve my savings, I don't think they're going to let you have options, right?
Right.
I'm just saying this for our viewers. A source of income. Well, that they're going to tell you buy bonds. Or get dividend stocks. So it could be speculation or growth. Either one of those is good.
Yeah.
Timeline.
How long do I plan to invest my money?
This is tricky because I would say a long term, because when you say less than 4 years, you're kind of implying, oh, I'm going to need this money. And they're going to be like, well, don't do anything risky. You know, so like if you answer too many questions conservatively, how much investment experience do you have? You said I know what I'm doing. What are the other choices? Can you show me?
None, not much. I'm an expert.
Okay, so yeah, either do I know what I'm doing or an expert there. Options trading, you said 1 to 2 years.
Risk tolerance. The global stock market is often volatile. If your entire investment portfolio lost 10% of its value in a month during a market decline, what would you do?
What would you do? What are the choices? Sell all of your investment, sell some, keep all, or buy more. What do you think the right answer is? I'd say keep all or buy more because it's down.
Maybe, okay.
if your entire, I don't know, that's what I would say. That means you have high gambling tolerance. Or sell some would be probably okay, but I would say keep all or buy more.
Okay.
Liquidity.
How important?
I think middle ground is safe there. They've given not important, somewhat important, or very important. I'm afraid to say very important because that might mean you need money. I'd say somewhat important.
It's not you need money. It's how important is it that your assets are liquid?
Well, I don't know what the right answer is, but if you answer too many wrong answers, they'll deny you. Review your application. Here's like a long disclaimer.
I wish to commit a portion of my funds to trading in options. I consider myself sophisticated in investment matters and I'm able to read and understand. Yep, I'm that. I realize and understand that any form of option trading is a number of risks connected therewith. I am very aware of that. I understand that the risk associated with option trading is extremely high, and in maintaining an option account and engaging in option trading, I'm engaging in transactions of a speculative nature. Aren't all stock market investments of a speculative nature?
Can you hold this? You know what? I had this debate with somebody like 2 days ago. They were like, well, options are risky, but stocks aren't. Options are a gamble, but stocks aren't. It's like, I said, no. Going in your car is a gamble. Getting on an airplane is a gamble. Walking down the street everything is a gamble. It's just how much risk, how much reward, and how much risk.
Yeah.
I think you're done. Unless you want to read that whole thing.
I'm aware of the high degree of risk. Yep. I will read the disclosure document.
Pretend we cut that out.
Robinhood Financial LLC. Let me read through it.
No.
There's a bunch here.
Yeah, that was like just the titles.
No, these are different disclosures.
Yeah, I don't read those. It's like I'm just like whatever your rules are. I'm sure they're not so bad that people have sued you over them.
I mean, people have to enter into option transactions are entirely my own. This is true. Yep. Ooh.
What?
All parties to this agreement are giving up the right to sue each other in court, including the right to a trial by jury. Okay, I'll review. I agree that I've read and understand. I understand these terms. I understand and acknowledge that this agreement contains a pre-dispute arbitration clause.
Okay, so they want arbitration.
15.
Fine.
Where's
whatever.
paragraph 15?
Oh God, Michael.
I gotta read paragraph 15.
Can we talk about something?
Agreement to arbitrate all controversies. Okay, so basically, we can't sue each other. We can only arbitrate, is what this is saying. So it's literally impossible for me to sue Robinhood if I accept this.
And you accepted it.
Yep.
Options checklist. What is this doing? We're checking if your account is suitable for trading options. So they're checking your answers. What does it say?
I did it.
It says that you got it.
Yep.
And you hit done. Now if you go
on
your phone.
I got a notification on my phone that says, welcome to Robinhood Options.
What a relief.
I did it. I can sell options now.
You can buy options now.
Buy options.
Yeah,
okay.
so
thank you, everyone. It was that easy. It was actually really easy. And I answered more or less honestly.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I guess you want to wrap it up.
I do. Can you tell I'm getting restless hips?
All right, he's getting restless hips. Bye. Bye. We'll talk about more about this next time.
Thank you, everyone, for the show.
Woohoo!
Goodbye.
Bitcoin.